Hello fellow cryptonauts, my name is Tom and I am the Crypto Investor, and it's days like this that you just need to turn off your blockfolio and get outside. So I'm coming at you from a more tropical backdrop today. Okay, so we had this pennant forming, if you were with us in the last video, and I said that Bitcoin would have to make its mind up one way or the other. It rarely gets to the very end of such a formation, and normally we get a move just before, and we did, and sadly it was to the downside, and we got this breakout. And as soon as we saw that break, that was the time, if you had any leveraged positions or any excess parts of your portfolio that you aren't hodling, that was the time to obviously move to cash and get on the sidelines. And that remains the case. We've come down, we are just starting to find some support at the previous lows that we found support at on the 23rd of May. So it's not surprising that we have some buy orders coming in here. However, I don't feel that this move is quite done yet personally. I feel that we need to get to a point of max pain, and I don't know if we are there yet. I think the fear and greed index needs to get into the tens, and I think it sits at 12 now. And I think personally, wouldn't be surprised if we come and test 30 and maybe just break it and get a wick down into this zone. I think there's significant buy orders to be found between 28 and 30,000, and the whales will be stepping in there to our rescue. So that's how I see this playing out. I personally have some buy orders set down here. So yeah, that's how I'm seeing this play out. I think always, if in doubt, zoom out, and I think what we are looking at more so here is still a continuation of that consolidation. As I had said in my previous videos, let's move this face over here. The most likely scenario is that we have a dull summer. So I still feel that we are just going to have a summer of consolidation. We had this big noisy consolidation, and the longer these go on, the more prevalent they are. That's why this 30,000 is so far showing to be fairly stubborn. The more that you have that past support, the more that it will act as support in the future. And I still think we dawdle in this box, that really we are range bound between 30 and 40,000 for the foreseeable future. So crypto is just going to get boring for a little bit. Of course, news catalysts could change that, but we did see huge news catalysts. I mean, the fact that we have El Salvador looking extremely likely to be adopting Bitcoin as legal tender, this will undoubtedly pass through Congress based on the fact that the Prime Minister holds the majority there. That will help as and when that does happen. Of course, we are hearing noises from the likes of Panama, Paraguay, Argentina, with many congressmen setting laser eyes. But the fact that we didn't really get a jump, in fact, we even got a slight sell-off on the El Salvadorian news, just leads me to feel that, that this isn't something that's bouncing back into a V-shaped recovery anytime very quickly. So I think, huge amounts of buy orders wait for us around the 28 to 30 zone. I don't see us breaking down below there. I still remain very much bullish long term. I think we have a lengthening cycle, but if we do break down below 28,000 and start to make a series of lower lows, then I will be somewhat more bearish on my outlook and think that perhaps we have 3 or 4 years to be waiting until we break these highs. But I don't see that for the time being. I see a few months of consolidation before we begin to make our way up higher. So one of the things I also wanted to share was just comparing this to gold recently. I personally invest in gold as well, and gold not desperately dissimilar. So we basically saw gold continuing to go up in value as with Bitcoin, and then we got kind of this parabolic move that started last July, I guess, as concern came in on the dollar. And we got this blow off top where gold just broke $2,000, and then it kind of just bled out sideways, and it got boring, really boring. And this went on for 6, 7, 8 months or so, until we kind of had capitulation. Gold fell off a cliff here. Everyone thought that this support coming in at 1760 would hold. It didn't. It broke down, and we came all the way down to 1670. Gold recovered, failed to get back above that key resistance, came back down. We got a nice double bottom that formed, and ever since, gold has been rallying. And I think often what you need in the market is a capitulation. And so maybe once we get that capitulation event, then we will see Bitcoin continue to make its move upwards. But we need that floor to bounce off. Just to measure that move, so gold has since come back up 14% from its lows. So, you know, I don't think this is desperately dissimilar to the structure of Bitcoin. You know, it got ahead of itself. Instead of that bleeding out, we'd had more of a consolidation before this breakdown. So, you know, I feel it's just a game of patience. We're starting to find a bit of support in the short term. I'm not convinced. I said I'm keeping my buy orders down here. I do still think we potentially do see lower lows from where we are right now. Just looking at Ethereum quickly whilst we're here. So Ethereum tends to move downwards a little bit more aggressively than Bitcoin, but overall it's structurally looking again much better. You know, there's clear upward channel. We're still remaining strongly in this upward channel. It just came and tested the lower extension of that channel, but it is holding now. And overall, yeah, much nicer bullish structure for Ethereum. We also had that kind of wedge pattern, the pennant, and that we broke out of that as well. So yeah, similar in that sense. Looking at Bitcoin's dominance, again, very low. You have to remember that even though Bitcoin, of course, is a very speculative and volatile asset, it is the safe haven in this space. It is, you know, it is the digital gold. I look at Ethereum as being more like buying into the Nasdaq and tech companies, and Bitcoin being more like buying gold. And so, you know, it is the safe haven that people go to, but it's, you know, its dominance is sitting down here at just below 42%. These are not end of cycle moves. I think as and when we do start to move up, Ethereum's going to move up a lot quicker than Bitcoin. I'm personally looking at adding more buy orders to Ethereum than Bitcoin as and when I believe the bottom is in of this move. And yeah, that's basically where we are at the moment. Just taking a quick look at the total market cap, we are coming down towards the 1.4. We tested 1.4 trillion. Again, you could make a strong argument for this being a big old resistance zone here. Very, very similar, of course, strong correlation to Bitcoin's price. But I think we basically will just see this market staying somewhat range bound, with 1.8 trillion perhaps holding for the time being. So I hope that offers some reassurance that I don't think, you know, that we're absolutely capitulating, but I also don't think we're going to see any sharp V-shaped recovery anytime very quickly. Finally, let's just look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And you can see that a bit of a move for safety, with people selling a bit of Ethereum for Bitcoin, but overall Ethereum gaining ground on Bitcoin. And this line here is that 50% flippening, so that's the Ethereum hitting half of the market cap of Bitcoin. I think we see that, you know, in the next few weeks to a month or so, with EIP 15959 and Ethereum version 2 and all this layer 2 solutions that are really helping Ethereum to scale very impressively. It does feel like Ethereum will continue to make ground over Bitcoin. And up here, this is the flippening ratio which Ethereum would need to get to overtake the market cap of Bitcoin. So, you know, there is definitely an upward move happening here in the longer term for Ethereum. All right. I hope you found that useful. Please do like and subscribe, share it with your mates. This is not financial advice. I'm just some guy on the internet trying to give you a helping hand, and that's it. You keep your diamond hands, you hodl well, and get outside and turn off your block folios. I'll speak to you soon.